Okay, in this turn-in assignment, we are supposed to use Excel to do a number of things, primarily to calculate the descriptive statistics of the data points and also to develop a histogram. So to use the descriptive statistics portion of Excel, we'll want to go to the data analysis pack. I'm using a 2007 version of Excel, so that's found under the data tab. And I will go down and select descriptive statistics and say OK. You'll notice that it's asked for an input range. You got to make sure that your data points are selected there. Then it asks for an output range. You have the ability of either putting your descriptive statistics on this page, and if you select output range, it'll ask you where do you want it on this page. So, you can just highlight, 2-3 columns, and that should be good. Make sure that you have the check mark in summary statistics before you say OK. So you say OK, and there you can see your descriptive statistics. I usually have to stretch out a column so I can see them all. Other things that it asks is what measurement would be 2 standard deviations above the mean, and then what value would be 2 standard deviations below that mean. So you can use just a regular function in Excel. You could say something like equals the mean value plus 2 times the standard deviation value, close your parentheses, and you'll find out that that value, which would be 2 standard deviations above, would be 38.49. You could do the same thing basically with 2 standard deviations below. Instead of saying plus, you'll say minus 2 times the standard deviation, and that's 31.58 basically. The second thing it asks is how many of your data points fall outside of those limits. That is, how many values fall above 38.49. Again, you can count these if you want, but you could use a function in Excel known as COUNTIF. And basically, you say equals COUNTIF. You have to highlight your data range, which in our case is A1 through A25. Okay, after that you'll put a comma, then you'll put quotation marks, and you'll notice how it highlights my data range. And then I'll say greater than 38.49, since that's the 2 standard deviations above value. Close your quotation marks, close the parentheses, and it returns a value of 0. Well, you could have done that by yourself, but again, that COUNTIF function will do that for you. And if you have a big group of data, that's always an interesting thing that you can do. So again, how many fall below the 2 standard deviations value? You can do the same thing. In this case, now we're going to say is less than, now 31.58, close the quotations, close the parentheses, and again the value is 0. So anyway, the last thing that we're asked to do is create a histogram of this value, of these data points. So I'll go down here and select the histogram. The input range, again, you want to select your 25 cells here. The bin range, I typically just let Excel choose its own bins. There is a way you can go in and size your own bins, but for our purposes, letting Excel do that for us is fine. The output range, again, if you're going to want this on this page, then let's, oh, now see, I wasn't in there, so I'm going to have to reselect my 25 values, my output range. I gotta make sure I'm down here. Do something like that. Again, you need to make sure you got chart output selected before you hit OK. Alright, and there you can see it comes up with its own bins and how many values are going to be in each bin. Here's the histogram. If you want that a little bit bigger, you can stretch it out. Alright, now here's the thing. I've asked for no gaps in between the bins or in between the bars, basically. So what you're going to want to do is right click on one of those bars, or highlight those bars and right click and say Format Data Series. You'll notice there's this gap width slider, and we'll just bring it down to no gap. And basically, that's your answer.